We'll be going at some point during the year back to China, and I want to thank China because, to be honest, I asked President Xi not to get involved with Iran, and he said he wouldn't, and he didn't.
Trump's growing fear over possible Xi-Mujtaba axis is now out in the open as he hints at a second China trip and fresh high-stakes diplomacy. Trump says he personally urged Xi not to support Iran during the war, as the conflict heads toward negotiations. Xi agreed, as fresh doubts swirl over whether American forces can withstand Chinese weapons.
We're doing a lot of trips. We'll be going to Turkey. We'll be going at some point during the year back to China. President Xi's coming here in September, but we're going back for a big conference that's in China. I said I'd do that, and I want to thank China because, to be honest, I asked President Xi not to get involved with Iran, and they get 50% of their oil from the Strait, but I asked him not to get involved, and he said he wouldn't, and he didn't. I mean, very nice, actually. Very nice, so I appreciate that.
Trump appears to acknowledge the Xi-Iran risk, yet then moves to send U.S. warships into a new confrontation with China, deepening the sense of a widening crisis. As the U.S.-Iran war winds down, American naval movements are drawing growing attention across the Indo-Pacific region. During the conflict, the Pentagon shifted major military assets to the Middle East, raising concerns among U.S. allies in Asia. That deployment fueled questions about Washington's long-term commitment to maintaining its presence in the Pacific. New military movements now suggest the United States may be turning its focus back toward strategic competition with China. The USS Boxer amphibious assault ship arrived in the South China Sea earlier this month, drawing attention to shifting U.S. military priorities. The warship had originally been expected to support operations connected to the Middle East crisis. Instead, the Boxer was redirected to the Pacific, where it joined American naval forces already operating in the region. Satellite imagery appeared to show the vessel moving toward the northeastern part of the South China Sea. The Boxer carries F-35B stealth fighters, Osprey aircraft, and more than 2,000 Marines, making it a significant force projection platform. Its deployment came as U.S. allies questioned whether the Iran conflict had diverted Washington's focus away from Asia. Meanwhile, the USS Tripoli, one of America's key Pacific amphibious assault ships, remained deployed closer to the Middle East. Boxer's arrival coincided with growing signs that the Iran conflict was moving toward a diplomatic endgame rather than further escalation. Washington and Tehran recently announced an understanding aimed at reopening the Strait of Hormuz and reducing regional tensions. As the situation in the Gulf began to stabilize, strategic attention appeared to shift back toward the Western Pacific. Analysts continue to argue that China remains America's most significant long-term strategic challenge despite recent crises in the Middle East. In a separate move, the Pentagon restored the historic name U.S. Pacific Command. Officials said the change revives a legacy tied to decades of American military operations. While responsibilities stay the same, the new name puts the Pacific back in focus. Together, the command rebrand and USS Boxer deployment hint at Washington's renewed focus on the Pacific. Iran's foreign ministry held separate consultations with senior counterparts in both Russia and China before the agreement moves forward. On June 17, Abbas Araghchi held high-level phone conversations with Sergei Lavrov and Wang Yi respectively. During discussions with Moscow, Iranian officials reportedly focused on the Memorandum of Understanding negotiated with Washington. Iran's foreign minister also reportedly stressed that Israel must completely halt its military operations inside Lebanon. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov reaffirmed Moscow's full support for the Iran-US Memorandum of Understanding, according to Tasnim. Russia's foreign ministry said, and I quote, "On June 17, FM Sergei Lavrov and Araghchi spoke over the phone. Russia expressed support for the understanding on de-escalating tensions in the region. The importance of their strict observance by all parties, including Israel, was emphasized." With Beijing, Iran's top diplomat also reportedly shared details of the Memorandum of Understanding reached with the United States. Araghchi reportedly thanked China for its backing and engagement throughout the lengthy negotiation process with Washington. China's Wang Yi welcomed the agreement and reportedly stated that Beijing stands ready to assist with its implementation, according to Tasnim. Meanwhile, at the G7 summit in France, Trump publicly thanked Putin and Xi for maintaining what he described as a neutral position.
It's going to take a long way for them to build back their anti-aircraft stuff. It's going to take, and you know, the other thing, I want to thank China, President Xi. I was with him, and he stayed neutral, totally neutral, and I appreciate it. And I want to thank Vladimir Putin. He was very neutral. They could have made it much more difficult for us. And I want to say it. You know, somebody would say, "Oh, that's terrible. He's thinking President Xi of China." Well, let me tell you, I had a long talk with him. You know, they have shoulder weapons to knock down airplanes. That it's not like the real deal, but they're accurate. They're fairly accurate. I said, I would really appreciate you're not giving or selling any of that stuff to Iran. And you know what? For the most part, he didn't. So I just want to thank them because they made it a lot better.
Iran's lead negotiator Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf also described China as a genuine and reliable strategic partner.
We must stand firm, take over the front line from the launcher crews, and relieve the people from the burden of economic pressure. It is us who must make China believe, which it will, that we are not a customer or just a business partner. We are truly a partner to them. A partner in every sense. We need some blocks. I'm saying clearly, these blocks must be formed. And in a way, they are already formed. Whatever bloc is formed, there are two definite countries in it. Don't doubt it, China and Iran.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that we will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.